Well, just first of all, thank you guys for being here, and it's exciting time for us in our football program. And I know at this point in time, I think every school in the country probably has already started practice. Since we're playing a little bit later on that Monday night, we're a little bit later starting practice. So, but we're excited to get going. We've had I feel like it's been a long time, since we first had the pads on back in February, which that is quite a while. But the guys since that point in time have worked extremely hard. I give a lot of credit to our strength staff, Mike Siriano and Matt Summers, the training staff. I mean, they've really done a great job of really changing these bodies for our players. And there's several guys that have put on so much weight, and the right kind of weight, the strength that you want to put on in the off season. And I think that's probably one of the benefits for us, having gone spring ball and finishing up right there in early March. And it allows you all this time between that March date all the way to this point in time in August to really change your bodies. And it takes everybody. It takes all the strength staff, the training staff, the players to buy in and all that. So we've got that, a tremendous amount of buy-in from these guys. We're a different football team right now, than we were when we first got here in December, 100%. I mean, it's we've had some attrition, we've lost some guys, we've added some guys. We're a different looking football team, and what that looks like, we don't truly know yet. As we start off here in August, starting practice tomorrow, and then so on and so forth, and put the pads on, we'll get a true feel of these guys and kind of see where they fit within our program. We've added 6 grad transfers to the program, and that'll really help our team, give us some depth, and in some cases maybe even start. I think there's a couple of guys that didn't make it as signees that are not going to be on our team. I think last week that was kind of put out there. Starks and Boykin did not make the qualification marks they needed to make, so they will not be here. Other than that, the rest of the class signed are all here, as we added those 6 grad transfers as well. A couple other notes. Des Dumerville has ended up getting a medical right now, so he will not be playing this year. So he will be out. And Trayshawn Smith right now is suspended. He's on suspension with violation of team rules. So he will not be out here during August. And LaMarquez Thomas is no longer with the team. So those are kind of 3 names that, as you watch in practice, may or may not see out there. So just want to kind of get they're out of the way. And the team that we have, I think they're all hungry, they're all eager, they're all ready to go, they're ready to get this thing started. And we realize there's an uphill challenge that we have as we start this season. We're not picked very high, as you look in the league play, really, and probably nationally as well. These people coming out with these prognostications of where you're going to be ranked and this and that. And, but I never really have looked at those things. I really don't care where they are preseason. They really don't matter. It's where you are at the end of the season, and it's how well you've gotten your team to play each and every time you play, and that's all we look at. We talk to our team a lot about control what you can control, and that's all we're going to care about, and that's going to be that day today. Where your feet are today, that's where you need to be, and taking it one day at a time, the old cliche, but we truly do coach that way, and that's the way we're going to play and prepare. So with that, I'll just open up with any questions. Just over a period of time, I think there's a lot of things. Just medically, not in great, physical shape enough to play, and there's a lot of different things going on with that. And I won't get into a lot of the details, but it was significant enough to where he can get a medical, and that's where we're at with him. Well, anytime you violate team rules, and I'm not on a specific date whenever that happened, but he's not been here this summer, and so we've kind of been knowing about it for a while, and just this is where we are at with him, and so we'll see if anything changes. We'll obviously let everybody know. Yeah. Well, I think it just brings everybody closer. If you think about it, if all you're doing is with your team is pushing them and coaching them really hard, and that's all you do, and they don't get to see anything outside of that, then they can't get the full effect of what kind of person you are. I mean, and the camaraderie that you can get between guys by having dinner, by playing around paintball, going bowling, or whatever it may be. That's just different. You're cutting up. You're having fun. You're letting loose. They get to see more of who you are. I just think that's extremely important, not only between coach and player, but amongst the players, amongst themselves, and also the staff. So there's a bunch of things that we've done as a staff together that I just think brings you closer, that when it gets crunch time and you facing adversity, this person has my back. I've had conversations with this person outside of football, and I think the more times you can get together and do those kind of things, the better. It just becomes a really tight-knit group that everybody can trust, and I think that's what it boils down to. And so we've done a lot of things and very intentionally with each other, and we'll continue to do a lot of these things, and I just think it brings you closer together as a football team. They are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll all be at practice, yep. Good to go. He's still going to be a part of the team, but won't be participating in anything. Well, it's I don't think it's a relief until you start winning football games. I mean, that's when the relief will happen. You can actually relax and know that what we're doing is working. So that'll be when the relief hits. It's not a relief. To me, this is what we're doing. Everything that we're doing up to this point, this is even including August, because you don't play any games, but all this is for 12 opportunities we get. We get 12 opportunities to show our stuff. We talk about what we do in the dark will show up in the light. Well, the light is 12 times. You only get those 12 opportunities. All those days, everything in between is for 12 opportunities. So there's so much more that we're teaching. I think it's being about life and what kind of men you're going to be, what kind of fathers, husbands you're going to be, and all those different things. But all of it all correlates. I just think if you're doing right in the classroom, if you're doing right outside football in the classroom, out in the community, that you're going to have a pretty good football career. I just think all those things correlate. But really to show your stuff and really to show what kind of team you have and how you're going to come together, we're going to see it those 12 times. And sometimes it'll look great, sometimes it won't look great, and that's why you just continue to work and try to stay in the moment. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be big, because we added so many new faces. So now where can we put them? Where are they going to play? And then how are they going to react to adversity? And when I mentioned that those a few weeks ago was really, you're going to face adversity when we play Notre Dame. We play these games, but we want them to face it during practice. So how are they going to react when they face that adversity, so that we can correct those things and fix them and tweak them, and so now when we play our game, that we'll know we were already prepared for that. So for us, it's all about the preparation, and really, if we prepare well, then we'll have a great chance. And then but for us as coaches and as players, so one thing we're going to hit on today is we got to find roles for everybody on our team. Like there's 110 guys coming to camp. We got to find roles for 110 guys, and then probably the most important thing is they have to accept those roles and go 100 miles an hour, whatever that role is. Some of those roles are going to be I'm starting and I'm playing 80 snaps a game. Another role may be all I'm doing is running down on kickoff team, but I'm going to be the best person to ever run down on a kickoff team. That's got to be my mindset. Another role may be I'm a scout team quarterback, and I'm going to try to be I'm going to give a great look to our defense, whoever we're playing that week, and be better than the quarterback was on game day. So whatever that role is, we have to accept it. And so that's kind of what these next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever will be, finding roles and accepting roles. That's going to be huge for us. Well, I don't know. All the positions, I feel better about it now, compared to when we were first here. I think everybody's got a good understanding of what we want, what we're asking out of them. We talked about it early on, offensive line. I think we've helped our need there. I feel, better about that compared to this in February. I think, receivers we talked about as a strength. Running backs, I think it's going to be a strength for us. Tight ends, feel a lot better. obviously, when we got here, we didn't have hardly anybody in that room. And I think tomorrow when we go to practice, we'll probably have, I think there's 7 or 8, I think 8 tight ends that are going to be practicing tomorrow. So we kind of, bolstered that room up to be to where we have some bodies that can actually do some things there. Defensively, I felt good about our linebackers before. I still feel good about them. D-line, we want to have a lot of depth there to be able to play a lot of guys. I think that is going to be there. And then the secondary. I think secondary, we bring back some guys that have played some ball, and then we've added a few names there that I think could really give us some depth as well. So I feel better about the secondary. Mm-hmm. Well, again, finding roles for everybody, I think that's always a challenge because your role may be different than what I think your role will be, and so we kind of got to work that out, and that's going to take a little bit of time, and that's going to be the challenge. And so, the quicker we can work these roles out, the better. Because I've been a part of teams where sometimes that goes into game 2 and 3, and you're still trying to figure out roles, and when you do that you're going to struggle a little bit. And so the earlier we'll get that, the better. So that's going to be a big challenge for us. And then for us as coaches, it's finding the right guys in the right spots. I think that's going to be huge. Who are the top 11 guys that we need to put on the football field? Offense, defense, and kicking game. And that's going to be critical. But it all goes in the same deal with these roles, because if I want to start on offense or defense, but yet my role may be starting on special teams, it may take me a little bit of time to really fully accept that. And that's kind of where we go. And that's where you have to be unselfish. That's where you have to say, what's going to be best for this team? And that's we talk about that. We talk about the other 10. I'm one. I'm playing for the other 10 that are on the field. So, so all these things take time to work out. But that'll be the part that I think will be the most challenging is finding the right spots for everybody in their roles. Well, I think we will at some point. We have to, don't we? But we got it right before we play. I don't know. We'll see. I just know this. I know that both of those guys will play for us this year. I got a lot of confidence in both of them. I think obviously with Malik, what he showed last year, he rushed for over 500 yards, led our team in rushing, and struggled a little bit throwing the football, but I think he can throw. I think Puma's going to be able to run the football also. I think he's going to be able to show some things there that he didn't show last year. And as I said it back in the media days, ACC, was that it's going to come down to decision making, that who's going to be our quarterback is whoever makes the best decisions. And it's always going to be that way. In this offense, you have to make great decisions. And so whoever that is, I know they're both really, really good players, I think. And I think that they don't need to be standing beside me. So we got to find ways to get them on the field and play. Yeah, we've got, as we look at it, I would probably say 70%'s in there, and that's your meat and potato stuff, your bread and butter stuff that you're going to run every week. It's all in there. And then as we get closer to game planning, then now we'll start adding a lot of stuff, and tweaking here and there. What's going to look good versus Notre Dame, we feel like we'll start putting in there probably the last half of camp, the last 2 weeks of camp. So these first 2 weeks will be a lot of basic stuff, really fundamentals, really getting good at that meat and potatoes type stuff for offense and defense and kicking game. And then as we get closer, then we start game planning. Now you start adding stuff that we think will help us in that game. I don't know that anything specific. I think we want to continue on what we've been doing this whole summer, as far as they've been working really, really hard. And really, like I said, they're changing their bodies. They're our speed. I think we got a pretty fast team. I really do. I really think we have overall a pretty team that can run really well. So carry that into camp. I don't want to see any kind of drop off in intensity and effort during camp. We want it to be 100 miles an hour. If we can see that every single day, then we know we're going to continue to get better. And so we're going to really monitor that. Technology these days is unbelievable. We have the things that these guys wear that tracks how fast they go, what distance they go at. So we really can tell the effort level, looking at that, the data that we get from practice. So that's going to be important to look at that. And we're going to be very cognizant of where we are. There's a fine line, I think. We talked about the first 2 weeks are going to be pretty intense. Well, there's a fine line in there to where are we pushing so much and we're hitting so much that we're losing guys. So now do you have to dial back a little bit? But we want to push that this fall camp. We're really going to push that. But we got to somehow try to stay healthy as well. That's the hard part of football, when you start tackling and figuring out that fine line of knocking guys out, but at the same time we got to be physical. We got to have a physical camp. Well, yeah. I mean, you talking about D-line wise? Yeah, I think. I mean, Caban's been probably the best leader that we've had really all spring and into summer. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he's a guy that commands the room when he does talk. So I'm really impressed with him. We all know how talented Gigi is. He's one of the most talented defensive linemen we've had. I think he's come a long way. As far as just kind of the leadership stuff. That's not his forte. But he's a guy that's going to bring it and give you a lot of good ability on game day. I'm excited about him. I think just overall the whole group, Goldwire is going to give us a lot of depth there at nose. I think, Peterson's a guy who's got a lot of talent there at defensive end. And, so as I look right here at the depth chart, to me there's 8 guys that'll probably play and we'll rotate in. And be able to keep those guys fresh throughout. And you're looking at a long season too, so we want to play those guys early and often and continue that rotation so that, as you get in the second half of football games, that D-line is still kind of going and powerful, and in the second half of the season too. So that's what we got. We got to be able to have 8 guys that can do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's excitement. I think I've been participating in football since I was 7. So what is that? 39 years. So this time of year rolls around, I'm ready to go. I mean, I love August. I love the fall. I love just going out and competing. It's fun for me to just personally to see things come together. So I'm excited about that. I know we have 29 practices before it all comes together before we play our first game. So, but that's the fun part. Is just putting everything together and seeing these guys get better, and then seeing the joys on their face when they do make the play and they make it happen. They know it, all the hard work has come full circle. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I think first time in the ACC for me, that's going to be awesome. Opening up with one of the most storied football programs ever in Notre Dame coming here, I think it's going to be awesome for our fans. It should be a great environment for that first game. So yeah, all those emotions, they're all positive. They're all positive emotions, and I don't even think about anything past that. People look at the season, I don't even care about the rest of it. I mean, it's all Notre Dame. That's what we'll be focused on. And right now in camp, we won't even bring Notre Dame up. Like, we won't even mention it. Probably until about a week, maybe 8 days prior before we open up with them. The rest of the time, it's all going to be about us. How can we get better as a football team? So, and we do truly take it one day at a time. And so yeah, I'm excited. Should be fun. Yeah, I think it's probably too early to answer that question because, like I said, back in February is the last time we saw him practice, and so once we get into this thing, I think, in another week, 10 days, then you have a pretty good idea of some guys that have really shown. I think we're all going to be surprised at some guys. I mean, like some guys that played last year, that how they developed over the course of a year. I think we're going to be surprised. Like Hassan Hall's up to 202 pounds now. He's a guy that played at 180 something in the fall. I mean, he's just one example of how he's changed his body. Hawkins, the other running backs, up over 190 now. And I mean, there's going to be several guys that I think that are really are going to have really better years than what everybody's giving them credit to have, I think, right now at this point. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think the running back room. I'm just really excited about that room, and really here, tight end room too, because we didn't have any tight ends. So I mean, it's hard to even to know where the bottom was for that. I think they're going to be like Ford. Ford, for example, is our H-back. Plate right here up the road at Ballard. I mean, he's going to be good. He's going to be really good. He was a walk-on player we just put on scholarship, but I think he'll make a lot of plays for us this year. And I love the way he plays. I like his effort. He's a good player. He's just good, and he's got a great attitude. And I love guys that have great attitudes and do things right. I like for him to be rewarded. He'll be rewarded because he's going to work his tail off and he'll play. And but he's got talent too. And so he'll be one. And I think the running backs, I think a lot of it depends on our offensive line. They got to have a good year in order to open up holes for the running backs. But we do have the talent at running back to be able to have some big-time yards this year. And it's also going to help the fact, too, that we got some wide receivers that can stretch the defense. I mean, I'm excited about our wideouts. I mean, they're going to be able to get those DBs back, and that's just going to open up more holes for the running back. So, I think we have a lot of pieces offensively. I think the big question mark, as we've talked about a lot, is the O-line. How well can they come together? And if they do, I think we have a really good year offensively. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do. And I think there's a little difference too. Aiden's we really hadn't talked about him. And he literally went to high school on our campus. But I'm excited about him as well because he had a shoulder in the spring, so he couldn't participate. But he's 230-some pounds, and he worked as hard as anybody on his team this summer. And so, and again, another great kid. And so I can't wait to see what he can do. Like, I would hate to be a defensive player and have to tackle him because we timed him this spring at a 4.5, 2 or 3 in the 40 at 230 pounds, 6'2", 6'3". I mean, he has a load coming in there, and so. So you look at him, and then you look at Hawkins, who's 190. That's a big difference, a different kind of back. So, and I just think we can have a fresh back in the game at all times, and hopefully be able to wear down some defenses, and those guys get a lot of yards rushing. I just think it'll really help our team. But I'm excited about several guys. But as we get into it, and we'll talk more about some of these guys. Like I said, about a week, 10 days into camp, you get a great idea about where they're at, where they are, and where they'll be like. Yeah, I think it'll be a full class, really. And what we're going to do is see, can we count back from last? Because we didn't sign a full class last year, so it'll be mid to upper 20s this year in this class. So we're still actively recruiting. We'll have some good ones here. Notre Dame game, the first game recruits, and we feel really good about the ones that where we're at right now for the 2020 class, and as we move forward, hopefully we'll add some more great players. Not only the great players, they're great people, and I think that's going to be a great foundation for our team as we move forward. Well, it was very. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. Whenever that happened, yeah. I mean, it was, and we didn't plan it. It just happened. I just think it started snowballing that this summer, and it was pretty incredible. But they were really good players, and I think in recruiting sometimes, I've seen runs where a guy commits, another guy, but not like that. I mean, that was incredible, and we hadn't done anything in the last month, I guess, but in recruiting. But hopefully it'll pick back up this fall with some more guys who want to be a part, and we're excited about the future of the program. Really are. Well, no, I mean, recruiting's recruiting. I think it's all about relationships and about just being diligent in recruiting and staying in contact with these guys. Now we're just competing now with a different level. That's the biggest difference. We're competing with some of the finer programs throughout the country, and the challenging thing for us is the fact we didn't win an ACC game last year. And to still go out and sell these parents and these recruits of our dream and our plan of here what's going to happen, and then for them to really want to buy into that and jump into that, it speaks volumes of our staff and of our program here, or where we're going to be at in the future, the city, reputation, a lot of great things. And so we feel really, really good about it. We go out and win some games, and we feel like there are more people going to want to be a part of this program. All right, thank you guys.